Okay. All right. So let's dive deeper now into the area where we're focusing on where I often can be of greater integrity myself so that people outside of me keep their times, keep their appointments, keep their agreements with me. Ways that I've been out of integrity with myself that between now and our next session I'm ready to shift include. So name me, a few areas and we'll take an action for each one, okay?
Definitely including self-care, like feeding and watering.
Feeding and watering, you're talking about yourself like you're a garden.
Yeah, well, I mean, in some ways.
The interesting thing about a garden is, and the way you described it, is that feeding and watering sounds like a passive process, like you're pouring water on or you're stuffing food in. When you're such an alive being already, it's actually different than feeding and watering. It's like nurturing and empower. It's a whole different quality of, I think, seeing how you're fueling your vehicle and not just filling your vehicle. Am I making sense?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And honestly, if I could get there, in other words, if I appreciated the distinction between fueling and feeding and watering, I would probably be more likely to fuel.
So this raises your view of yourself from being a compost heap or a garden that you're just stuffing stuff into, liquid and solid, to a renewed perception of yourself as valuable, as worthy, as holy, as giving yourself clear agreements that makes clear communication so others.
Right.
Say this out loud after me. As I release my own hesitation.
As I release my own hesitations.
People around me. Release theirs.
Release theirs.
Duh.
Duh.
I mean, it couldn't be more obvious that, the least common denominator here is
me.
Yourself and you. Exactly. So
me, myself, and I. Yep.
That's right. So as I shift my relationship to from filling to fueling myself,
as I shift my relationship from filling to
fueling myself, here is my new stand, my new intention that I am in the process of following through. And it's not I will, or I could, or I should, or I might, or I better.
I am, yes.
So, okay, in regard to liquid intake and solid intake, starting today, I know we work at this in different ways, but we're approaching from different angles. So my new insight on this is starting right now, even in the next sip of water I take. Cheers.
Starting right now, yes, I have water too, so cheers.
Cheers to you. I'm drinking pine needle tea myself.
My new intention is that I will.
Yes.
My new intention is that I will eat a minimum of 2 meals per day and a minimum of 60 ounces of water per day.
50. You haven't. I know you were saying you wouldn't go up to. What was the number you were looking to get up to?
Eventually 90, but I'm not even at 60. 60 is the one I intended just now, by the way.
Okay, we're up to 60.
Yeah.
And you said you want to go from 60 now to something else, or 50 is good to start?
No, 60 is good to start because I'm not even there consistently yet. Ultimately, I would love to be at 90, but we're not at 60 yet consistently.
So what's stopping you from drinking more water? You just don't want to pee so much? Is that part of it?
That's part of it, but it's also just, I mean, I don't know, Gary. Today normally I get up and do things, but today I just didn't even feel like getting out of bed. It was like
yeah.
Massive.
Have you been in bed all day? Have you been in bed till 7 o'clock tonight?
Essentially, yeah. Until I had to get up and do something. Yeah, pretty much.
And so perhaps when that happens, perhaps your body and your being is calling for attention to go within, to go inward rather than outward. When you're in that kind of a state, it's kind of a call, isn't it? A call within. What have been some of the insights and ahas that have been part of your diving deeper inwards in this day that you've been in bed? What, have you had any insights?
Well, see, that's the problem. Like, if there were any that I could articulate to you, that might actually make the day valuable. But I think I just mostly avoided my life by just doing nothing and being on my phone. And I mean, one insight that's coming to me just from sitting here while we're reflecting on it is that there is literally an hour, and I learned this is a good reflection for future. I learned that there is an hour past which if I don't get out of bed, I'll be depressed for the rest of the day. And I was right. I didn't know that going forward until I hit it. But it's like one of those things that like it's happened enough times now that the internal wisdom is if I'm not out of bed before like 2 o'clock, I'm just going to be depressed for the rest of my day, And
so at 1:59 and earlier, I often choose to get out of.
Let's make it 11:59 and earlier.
Before the morning becomes the afternoon.
Before the morning becomes the afternoon, I choose to get out of bed.
I get out of bed. Something I do before I get out of bed, you can do your own version, of course you will, but I do a little bit of a humming to myself for the different 11 chakra systems. I go like this to myself. Ooh, oh, ah, or some version of that.
That actually resonates because of the vibrational aspect. Yeah, I like it. I
do that every day. So that's at 22 minutes in our recording here that you can listen to my sounds upon awaken, and I hum to myself before even my eyes are still closed. But I do one sound for each of the chakras. It doesn't matter that I do it right. I just do it, and it's like.
Did you say there are 11 different chakra systems?
Well, I just make it up. I go through the earth chakra, I go ooh. The belly water chakra, I go oh. The solar plexus chakra, I go ha. The heart, the air element, I go ah. The etheric element here in the neck, I go the third eye chakra, I go and then I have other ones, Jamil, which is a Sufi word for beauty. And then I go Yahak for truth. And then Ishkala Mabulela, which is I am one with everything. That's the 7th chakra. And then I do 4 more for the Saturn, breathing up above the spine and focusing on what am I ready to create at this time? Sound of deepening. Jupiter, I experience myself stretching to the furthest dimensions, sending sound and tension out through my extremities to the furthest edges of the universe and time and space and beyond. That's Jupiter, expansion. Then Neptune, which is transmuting emotion with a sound that goes from about 4 inches above the top of the head down through the base, a feeling of transmuting energy, emotion, negativity, sexuality through my spiritualization of emotion. And then finally Uranus, which is the furthest planet away from the solar system. That adds up to number 11. And sometimes I'll do or anything that allows me to have that quick change. Then I climb out of bed and I generally pee and water and drink and do
everything else.
So that's a cool thing. So that's at 22 minutes in our thing to be able to practice your own version before getting out of bed and then envisioning what are the miracles I'm ready to create today. And I scan what's in my day. And I notice, like when I hang out in bed, when I then feel motivated to get out of bed is I start having maybe 3 to 5 images of things that I said I would do during the day. I'm going to call this person, or gee, this person wanted to have me send them an email. And I start picturing the 2 of those things as though they're already done. And then I'm going to sneeze. And then once I have the picture of me doing those things with that person or people, it's as though the energy is already moving me to start thinking about writing that letter, sending that email, doing that errand. and then I move to get out of bed because I'm already in the thinking, speaking, and activation of that thought form. So that's what I do. Those sounds first, 11 sounds for the 11 chakras, and then an envisioning of what's in front of me in my day, and that gives me fresh energy, whether I dreamed or not, to have these images that are now filled with emotional energy, and it's much easier to get out of bed with that sense of passionate purpose. Is that making sense, what I just said?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, actually.
How do you see yourself applying that? Because I see that this is going to help you get through some of the lethargy and the hesitation that other people are picking up on when they imitate you without even knowing they're doing
that. Right. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, so the sounds are actually literally resonating with me in kind of a funny way because they're vibrational, right? So like that is literally shifting my vibration. I'll probably add a little bit of I'll probably curate a playlist because I like music and I know that gets me, moving in the morning, especially.
Can you have different track lists for different types of ways you want to awake? Like one could be gentle, one could be inspirational, one could be more structured, like Martian kind of, step forward, focusing
Yeah,
attention.
like marchy type stuff. Yeah, I could make all kinds of different playlists for different days. That would work. I would
recommend in the 5 rhythms movement meditation practice and in the dancing freedom that I practice, if you make different playlists according to the following different areas that are different, then you can come back to them for different types of times that you would focus on not just getting out of bed, but going into meditation, going into preparation for a race. So some of them are the 5 chakras. Remember we did this once when we were focusing on the base of the body.
Right.
Earth, water, fire, air, ether, just like in the torso. Earth, bowels, water, urine, fire, sweat, air, breath, ether, emotions. So that's one way of when you're making 5 track lists according to those elements. And the other one in the 5 rhythm system is flowing, which is feminine, breathing in, what am I ready to receive, soft, moving through whatever I'm moving through without trying to change anything, just doing whatever I'm feeling. I feel sluggish, I do a dance of sluggish, just whatever is there. The next one is staccato, focus on the exhalation, movements out, sharp beginnings, clear endings, action plans, this time, that appointment, this date, this letter. Then the third one, earth, we have flowing, we have staccato, then we have chaos, which is sinking down and letting go of grief and going deeper into a sense of compassion and connection and communion, sinking deeper into the body. Then there's lyrical, the movements then are up, and that's inspiration, just like the breath. What inspires me, a track list that may be just about the air element, what lifts me, what uplifts me, what has me feel like I want to get out of bed or move from one state to the next, or inspiring for a race. And then ether, the final element of ether, which is connection to all that is. So there's lots of ways of using your own system. I use many systems that then make sense to you. That make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
So you can make your own track list, and I'd love to see you maybe share your track list with me, or if you put them on. Do you have a Spotify account?
I do. I use Spotify a lot, so I'll have
me too. Me too. And I have, if you look at my Gary Woolman, my name, I have a Spotify playlist, and most of them are public, and I have all the things I just shared with you with my Dancing Freedom classes. I have like 20 or 30 playlists that will show you exactly what I just shared.
Maybe I'll start there then for inspiration.
Yeah, I'm already there. So you might as well follow me and look at what the ones I've created. I over the last year and a half, I've taught about 6 or 7 online classes with the earth, water, fire, air, and ether elements as my playlist, and they're all there. Are you able to get onto Spotify now? I'll show you.
Yeah, I can do it now. Yeah, sure. I'm on. Hold on. It's already open. So let me just search for
Gary Woolman.
Yep.
I'm not sure I'm an artist. I think I'm an author. Tell me what you find me as, so I know how people find me.
I will tell you in a second here.
Sure.
let's see. Where's my search? Oh, here it is. Okay, there's that. And then if we search for
Gary Woolman and then Dancing Freedom, or DF, those are the ones that follow my name.
yeah, and then you've got all your public. It says profile, and it just says public playlist. Chaos,
Yeah, that's right.
air,
Open it
water.
up. I
Yep.
probably have about 30 playlists. Take a look and tell me what do I have? I don't remember.
Yeah, a bunch. They're all in a
They
like a
would
cover
say
view.
they would say DF, which is for Dancing Freedom, and then you'll see for each of the playlists actually even though they have the same name, if you open each one up separately, then it will show you the different qualities. One is warm up, the other is earth,
3,
water, fire, air,
7,
ether, and then finally inner dance, which is kind of a way of going within. And just I encourage you to move with this inner dance and see what comes, and we can continue our connection with connecting your movements along with any of these playlists and have a much deeper dive in our sessions together. You might say to me, I was doing your inner dance from like what I'm doing now. I'm just showing you and sharing the screen, for example, there. So can you see my playlist now? Can you see that?
Yes, I can. I found them all anyway, even on my Spotify. You have like over 100, Gary. You have 115 or something.
Wow, I lost track. A lot of those have come from the same class. You see, I have about I have 6 playlists per class. So if you divide 6 into 116, it comes out to be probably around 16 classes that I've been teaching. And those are the ones, and I have some other ones there too. I have other ones. My playlist, I'm looking at them now as well. I have a huge amount of playlists. I have healing vibrations. You can see what I'm looking at, right? These healing frequencies are fantastic.
Yep, I can see them. Yep, the solfeggios. I don't know if those are public or not, but
they should all be. I think all of mine are public. I don't hide it all. Anything they should all be available to you. Check and see.
Oh yeah, they are. Here's the solfeggio ones. Yeah.
And then if you go to the right-hand side, you see what's over here, friend activity. If you have me be a friend, you can see whatever I'm playing at any moment when I'm listening to any playlist, and
when you're playing stuff too. Yeah, no, I know, I do know that one. Yeah.
Cool. So this gives you a lot to practice.
I can follow you, and then okay.
And the difference between, for example, here we're looking cocoon. The difference between these are the warm up is more like getting moving in the morning. That's great to like just get out of bed and you could do that just to let yourself get out and make a cup of coffee or your healthy drink, whatever. Warm up.
Right.
And then these are the different elements to move with. Earth to connect with your earthiness. Water to connect with your flow and your emotions and your creativity. Fire to connect with your activation. What am I ready to set forth? That's a good one to put on when you're making planning or cleaning your room or planning your schedule. Fire. What
getting something done. Yeah, got it.
Yep. Air is inspiration, just like the air of inspiration. What I'm ready to uplift. I want to do some creative writing for my next video that I'm putting onto my website or so on. I'll help you with that too as we move along, helping you present yourself more with all of your energy, like you did with your brother, acknowledging your brother. Beautiful. Now, what would others say about you and your gifts? And then the element of ether is connection with source and connection with all that is, in more of a place of you're going into meditation. So this gives you a lot to practice. I didn't realize I have so much to share in the music area, but there you go.
It's a good start for inspiration, that's for sure.
Yeah. I've been doing that so long I didn't even remember that I was doing it.
Right.
So that's good. You can have access to those playlists. So this is good. We can dive deeper into this as you explore how to get out of bed. So what else in the areas of being more disciplined, letting go of hesitation, can you practice? You started saying 3 meals a day and 50 milliliters, and then we got on to getting out of bed before 2 o'clock. So now we've got the 12 o'clock curfew, so to speak. But instead of going to sleep time to wake up.
Right.
I'm going to remove the screen because you don't need to see how me share the screen for now. Okay,
Yeah, that's fine. You can turn that off. Yeah.
there we go.
What else? Well,
For me to be more disciplined so that others are moved to be that way too, in regards to food, water, exercise, discipline.
exercise would be a good one. I've got to figure out. I mean, I've sort of put it on hold because I was like giving away all my power, waiting for my trainer to finish my training plan, like basically waiting for her to tell me what to do every day. And rather than like, do something while I wait for, like go for a walk every day, or, do some stairs every day, or do something.
So let's plan that, because even as you speak right now, your voice is vacillating. It's like it's not specifically going in an area. You're going, well, I could do this, I could do that, I could go to this corner, I could go to that corner, but it doesn't show activation. It shows possibility, and it shows cerebral exploration. So let's dive deeper. From now on, regards to my exercise,
in regards to my exercise,
rather than waiting for my trainer or anyone else to show me as an external authority what to do, I choose to what? I choose to
what?
Well, you already said it. You just said I can take a walk around the block, or
I choose to walk for 20 minutes a day. That's what's coming.
You used to. So let's remove the used to and see what.
No, I said I choose to. I choose to walk for 20 minutes a day.
Okay, cool. And is that with the walker, without the walker, just in case you need it, right?
With the walker.
Yeah. When was the last time you regularly walked 20 minutes per day?
Only when I was training for my race that I just did.
So up to 2 weeks ago.
So it's been a while.
Yeah. So I practice this every day, and maybe you take one day off a week so you don't feel like you're a machine. It's good to take time off too, not necessarily the same day, but today I'm just going to stay in bed till 11:59 and put on great music, and I'm going to dance instead of walk. I'm going to dance around my room. I'm going to stretch my body.
And if I get into the music more, that will actually be partly exercise too. So
that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping for you, because certainly walking is one form of exercise, but let's open up your exercise to 5 different realms. 1, walking. 2, dancing. 3, stretching. Name 2 more.
Well, especially with regards to athletics and racing, one that I definitely need to have on the list is fascia release, aka foam rolling.
What do you call it?
Foam rolling. When you
What's
take
that?
you take a big cylinder, a foam cylinder, right?
Yeah.
And you sort of roll it until you find the hurting, the spots that are painful, right?
Oh yeah.
Which are easy for me to find because they announce themselves, really, for the most part. And then you sort of just lay there and let gravity work by.
So is this on a hard roller, like the kind that you roll on this way, or is it like styrofoam or?
I mean, they're made of styrofoam, but I have 3 or 4 different ones that are of different different intensities, I guess you could say.
Okay. Yep.
Some are softer than others.
So this is part of my homework for you, that you don't have to do it every day, but some days I walk for 20 minutes. Other days I dance for 20 minutes, or 10 minutes and 10 minutes, right?
Right.
I stretch, which is different forms of yoga, and particularly stretching on the exhalation when pressure is leaving the lungs. And you call this foam rolling. I'm practicing that. Start putting that into your practice. And, maybe a combination. So today I feel like a little bit more foam rolling with music, and Tomorrow I'm going to do walking with fiery music or soft. You can start combining these different modalities is what I'm suggesting. So it becomes much more fun. Make it into a game, rather than hard work. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting to me how easily you can make it fun and creative, and how I'm not often capable of figuring those things out on my own without being told how.
That's why we're working together. I'm very good. Yeah. I'm very good at creating systems that I can follow that are very, what do I call it, joyful disciplines. And I do it all the time.
Right.
I'm
Joyful
running,
discipline.
I'm
I
swimming,
remember
I'm
that.
dancing, and it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then combining sound, movement, stretching, affirmation, and rhyme. It's what I do when I'm working on the body and when I'm showing Sean how to work on your body. But also with you, if we make this into something fun, you're more likely to do it than feeling like, oh my God, I have to do this exercise thing. Today I'm going to have a creative combination. Gee, I'm going to walk a bit. I don't have to do it for 20 minutes, or maybe I will. And then I'll do some dancing. And when the sun's coming in my apartment, I put the sun on my face, and I have music. So you start playing with different media, sound, sun, fresh air, timing, modalities of vibration.
Rhythm, right, right.
So this is really powerful stuff. When you see the video and listen to the audio from this session, you'll have a lot more areas that you can basically fill in the blanks, because what I'm doing with you is creating forms to follow that are fun. Forms to follow that are fun. There we go.
Fun.
I'm all about fun. And if it's not fun, you probably won't want to get it done. It's the way with everybody,
Right.
Nobody wants to feel pushed into doing anything. So, in regards to water, 50 mils per day. In regards to exercise, all these different 5 modalities now that you can combine with music, with silence, with outside, with inside, doing things you've never done before. Do you do any sketching? Do you do any coloring? Do you do anything with your multicoloring pens, or have you?
I have not in the past been particularly artistic, no, but I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I just don't have it's funny too. It's actually funny you mention it, because especially when I call myself a rainbow magician, given that that's how my ether work shows up to me, I don't have very many colors around that are like easily accessible. So
okay, so now I'm going to give you some homework so that you're more in integrity in not just saying this is who you are, but by practicing as who you are. So the 5 colors for the 5 chakras are, you may know this already, and if you don't, I'll say them, because I want you to get colors that match these 5 colors in the next week and see how this also connects you to the elements of, ready? Earth, red. Water, orange.
Orange, right? Yeah, I knew that one.
Yep. Fire, yellow. These are the chakra colors. Air, blue. Air, green. The heart chakra color. Yep. And ether, blue. So if you get those 5 colors, which are basically, red, orange, yellow, green, and blue, then you might even, when you're practicing red for deepening your connection with the earth, put something in red colors, or a sketch or an image that also complements the exercise. Maybe it's a diagram, something that allows you to practice being the rainbow magician. Because if you're practicing it yourself, people are going to be more attracted to it because you're modeling it. You're not just talking about it. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. No, I get it. And it's funny that because, the sessions I do, all kinds of colors come through for people. And I often I give them the same advice. I'm like, use your colors, draw with them, paint with them, etc.
So now it's your turn to practice what you tell other people.
what I preach.
practice
Yeah.
what you're preaching, because I have a very strong feeling about you as you model the very same behaviors you're bringing out in others. People are going to be attracted to work with you more easily because you're already doing it for yourself. So people go, oh, I want what he's having, because they see you're already a magician in the area of, you can say, look at these colors, or you can do it in a way
Right.
that shows them as well. I remember this when let me show you something. When I was living in San Francisco in my early 20s, show you something. I did a painting, and in this painting, it was in Berkeley. I was taking a body magic class. I remember the name of the woman. She was beautiful, Sheila Johnson. That I did this with at the time. I was in my early 20s. It was literally 50 years ago. And she suggested that, because I was very much into like studying anatomy then, getting into body therapy. So I created this particular painting. You can see it. It actually became an award-winning painting that I brought to Hawaii years later. It's done with watercolors, and it's done from me studying this wonderful book by Hans Zimmer, who was a surgeon who became a cartoon, a character artist, an illustrator, medical illustrator. So that's how this body became so powerful and beautiful, and similar to my own body. And so I call this one Babe Wins, Babe Wins Man Fire. That's the name of this painting. And the woman who was running this class said, for you to be more connected to these elements, I want you to paint the legs as green, the orange as the arms for reaching out to people, and so on. So she encouraged me to color code different parts of the body that had to do with grounding, the green, and for connection with others, the orange, for example. So I'm giving that to you to inspire you to do something similar that makes sense to you. What would make sense to you that what I just shared has any kind of reverberation? What did you just get out of what I just shared with you about colors? What do you see yourself doing that you can say, you know what? Here's how I can see myself adapting the use of colors. Here's what I'm willing to practice between now and our next session. Just tell me.
Well, one thing that popped out before we got to like freeform creativity is just coloring books, geometric shapes and patterns, and where you have lines to fill in for some reason feels better than just blank paper at the moment. But yeah, I actually, it's interesting too from a psychological perspective, because it's an area of further study that actually could probably enhance my work, because I know that for example, color therapy, there's such a thing as color therapy, like actual art therapy, right? So it's an interesting, that's all popping out. I think what I can easily commit to, but before our next session, is getting a coloring book and some colors to spend a couple minutes a day, like connecting to the elements through that.
I would recommend that. And I'm getting a feeling that as we assist you to move forward in presenting your work online as well, that I can assist you in some of the ways you present on video, to make some short vignettes in video. And one of the things I have done over many, many years in working with people who are speaking their message is to encourage speakers who present a message to actually put in highlight on the words, or the words themselves, in colors that match the following. Red for activation, initiation. Yellow for illumination. Green for the heart. Blue for clarity and healing. Brown for something dark or dirty or conflict. Black for something that's factual. Orange for something that's sustaining. Whatever colors make sense to you. I made that up because when you see that color for example, when you see the colors that are purple, blue, and green, what's the difference between those colors and the colors red, orange, and yellow?
Well, the ones you listed first are cool colors, and the red, orange,
Exactly.
and yellow are warm colors.
That's exactly my point. That when you want to raise the energy with someone, something new, something exciting, something enthusiastic, you'll want to speak in colors that, or imagine yourself writing or even literally putting information down in colors that are warming.
Warmer. Yep.
Yeah.
When you want to
And if
raise the
you want to
energy.
soothe someone's agitated and you want to add more calmness, then you would, that's why I wear this shirt almost all the time when I'm doing healing sessions, you would then have blues, greens, purple. That would be softening and moving more into the female energy. So the warming colors are masculine, the cooling colors are feminine. And so
Right.
this is a way you can start to really be more precise. You look at the color of your words that you've typed, or it could be even colors of something you type with your computer. Cooling colors are for soothing. Warming colors are for adding the energy. Red more for beginnings. Orange more for sustainability. Yellow
Right.
more for illumination and mental clarity. In the cooling spectrum, blue for soothing. Green for heartfulness. And purple perhaps for transformation or brotherhood. So you get to play with the colors in a way that you look at the color and it shifts your voice tone. It shifts the way you speak, the way your movements match the color vibration. Am I making
Right.
sense?
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm getting it.
So what are you going to do regarding colors between now and our next session that you never would have done before? Just give me I'm willing to get a coloring book, you said, and what else?
Yeah, definitely need to get a coloring book and some pens, some colored
Yeah,
pens.
yeah, yep, yep,
Um,
yep.
Definitely gonna play with that. I might start, actually, it might be fun to even as I start making plans for my website and other things to, to bring my work more fully out into the world, it would probably be fun to write in color, which I hadn't thought about. Normally I'm just,
Exactly. And I'll help
black
you with
and
this. I think that's the next
regular.
stage of our working
Um,
together. While we're working from the inside out, now we can help you reach more people because you're in integrity, matching your inner colors, your inner world with the outer world. So people are going to be drawn to that energetically because you're in
right,
integrity. That's what we're doing
right.
here in our session today. Very powerful. So, in regards to color, in regards to exercise, in regards to food, in regards to water, this is what today we've been focusing on in having you be aligned with your inner intentions matching your outer expressions. Tell me what insights, ahas, even challenges, and thoughts and images you've been having during the session so we can dive a bit deeper.
Um, well, it seems like, or it feels like there is a large block, what one thing that came up not too many minutes ago was just this idea that I have a very large block around my creativity, and I'm not sure what
Yeah,
that.
I noticed that. It's almost as though you're telling yourself in regards to your creativity, because when I asked you about color, you kind of said, well, I'm not really creative, or I don't see myself that way. And so
Yeah.
everybody's creative. The act of breathing is creative. Everything is creative when we shift our view from being in a mechanical, obligatory relationship to, I have to put that feed and water myself like I'm a
Right.
passive
Like
gardener.
a
Even the way you talked
garden.
about yourself, when there's you're so much more creative than that. If you are a rainbow healer, rainbow energy medicine man, you want to represent that. One, in the way you speak. Two, in the colors you have on your body and what's around you when you speak. You want rainbow colors,
Right.
in your
I
field. So I see a lot of browns around you, and that shows the
Yeah.
place you're coming out of. But you know what? You're coming out of the darkness into the light, and I'm all about helping you bring out your most vibrant, bold, effervescent, royal, gorgeous colors. So between now and our next session, along with the coloring pens, markers, oil pat, whatever you use, time to look at in our sessions together how you can, particularly when you're on screen, when people are seeing you, obviously not for Facebook, searching for people to come in as engineers, but for this work, it behooves you to be as, not necessarily as colorful as possible, but something that represents. I'll show you for something, for example, in this next room, I bought this sweater years ago as I was just moving to this area, and then I got big and I couldn't fit into it. Now I have it again. It is such a gorgeous multicolored sweater. Oh my God! It's I think the famous line. Yeah. So you've seen these all over Australia. It's like like an Australian painting. It's like a dream time, and it's colorful as can be. So when I wear this, even the colors in back of me, I'm already colorful. It just adds a different element of, wow, this person really is a rainbow magician because he's looking rainbow-like. So it behooves you to start doing that, don't you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, that's true.
So see what you come up with the next time we speak, and you go, wow, look at this color thing I did, or I'm putting this little composition in multicolors.
Right.
Red for activation, orange for continuation, blue for calming, black for clarity, and you start being the model of what you're talking other people can be. Is that powerful?
Yeah, it is. It is.
So say the words after me. Because I'm creative.
Because I'm creative.
And see what follows.
Because I'm creative, I have an easier time creating systems that I will use.
Exactly. The systems are fun, easy to follow, easy to teach, because not only do I follow these systems, but because they're multicolorful and consistent in red meaning activation, orange meaning continuation, yellow being illumination, blue being calming, green being opening the heart, and purple being spiritual connect, whatever. That's my version. You make up your own. Then I communicate far more multi-sensorily with people because that's what I'm all about. I'm a model of the magician I want to be for myself first. Powerful. So what did you get out of today's session? I'm curious. What has been most useful in what we shared? Because tell me.
A lot of good reflections on integrity, really, on living into who I am and becoming more colorful, on combining things like different, like walking with music, or like meditating and then coloring, or dancing and then color, like different modalities all kind of combining, and really like dropping or shedding this idea that I'm not creative or that there's blocks on it. One thing that keeps coming through near the end now is that there really aren't any rules. So like, listen to music for 5 minutes if it gets you out of bed, or just do whatever comes through as the system for that day, in order to get the energy moving in such a way that you have actual momentum, instead of just staying in bed until 7 o'clock at night.
Fantastic. When you get this link in about half an hour, and you're able to then download it, let me know. And it would be good you take good notes, because I think we have some very precise areas that you can focus on here today as well, that you can see from what we've just set in motion. Great.
I'll take notes on this one for sure. Yeah, thank you, Gary. I'll see you on Thursday.
See you for the group session. Yep. And when would you like to have the follow-up for this, since we're continuing on these lines? When would be good for you for that as well?
Another Sunday, so like or Saturday, whichever one you want.
A week, 2 weeks, you name it.
2 weeks is probably fine. So like the 18th, I think.
So on the 18th for you, what time was this for me? This was approximately the same time, 12 o'clock, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, you can do the same one if you want. That's fine.
So for you, that's 5 o'clock. So, yep, on Sunday, when you get my confirmation, you know it's my time that I'm sending you rather than your time, right? You can see.
It should be 7 o'clock for me, but yes, it's
That's what
okay.
I mean. Yeah, 7
Yeah.
o'clock for you is 12 o'clock for me. So I'm just sending you that confirmation now as well. It's great working with you. I can see you're really starting to get into this work and much more into your body as well. It's very exciting to see the
Yeah,
progress you're making.
it's coming down. That's true. I did notice that now that you pointed out. I'm not nearly as ungrounded as I used to be.
Exactly. We're giving you much more to focus on with the multisensory approach. Bless you, Aubin. I'm going to end the recording now, send that to you.